Plaintiff Amanda Massey says throughout the entire time she was dating the defendant, he was cheating on her with her best friend. Amanda claims the defendant is now married to her former best friend, and she is even with the defendant in court today. Amanda's suing her ex for the balance due on a loan. Defendant Michael Biddle says the entire time he dated Amanda, she was extremely controlling and wouldn't let him have any friends. Michael claims Amanda was also jealous of his child from a previous relationship, and he's countersuing her today for harassment.
Start with you.
Throughout the whole time that myself and Michael Biddle were together, he cheated on me with my best friend, which is sitting right here, Lisa. And
how long? How do you know?
A mutual friend of mine and Mike's, which was her ex-boyfriend, told me about it. And when I found out, I called him and he told me everything. I asked her about it continuously over the phone when I was at her house, and she denied it the whole time. And then she came home and she finally came clean and told me what happened. And she kept telling me, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. And keep in mind, the night before this, she was at my house telling me that it would be okay and Mike would come back and don't worry about it and he'll come back. You guys will get back together.
And she was the one all the time.
And she was the one sleeping with him the whole time, yeah. And not only that.
Is that true, sir?
First of all, the whole time we were together, she was controlling.
I didn't ask you about that.
I don't remember dates or times when we did it.
Is it true?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
And there was one other time, there was a girl that lived around the corner from us that she called me one night after we had already broken up, that I was out and about living the single life, having a good time. And she started telling me.
Do you want to allow her to talk about this? Because
I don't
this
see why it's
relevant.
important, yeah.
All right,
she's just trying to badmouth me right now.
I'm not going to allow you to do that.
Okay.
Plaintiff Amanda Massey dated the defendant, but she claims he cheated on her with her best friend, and she is with the defendant in court today.
Why don't you give me some background on the relationship, since she at least talked a little about it?
First of all, the whole time we were together, she's pretty controlling. She wouldn't let me have no friends, wouldn't let me talk to my family or anything without a fight. When we first got together, I had a kid previous. She knew that we were a package deal. You know, we'd be hanging around in the house or whatnot, and a nook would fall out of his mouth or something. She'd just walk by and let him cry, you know. She'd always refer to him as it, and she never called him by his name.
He only brought his son over 2 times.
Did you call him it?
No, I never called him it. And I knew that there was a possibility that he might be the father of the child when we first got together. We didn't find out until the Christmas.
Yeah, so what? When you found out, he
05.
says you gave him a problem about him bringing children over. Go ahead.
And then, you know, I'd be working and everything.
And he sounds believable, ma'am. I got to tell you, he seems too scared to lie on you. He does. Go ahead.
I mean, the money situation, she was always lazy, never worked. You know, I'd leave the house, come back home.
Now you call
and everything would look the same as when I left the house the morning before I went to work, you know. She never let me spend my money the way that I wanted unless it had something to do with her. She was getting something out of the deal, like the $500 ring I got, because I wanted to buy a sound system for my radio. And she threw a fit about it, so I had to buy her a ring or something just to shut her up. You know, stuff like that.
You want to get to the loan, ma'am, that you're suing him about?
Yes. He asked me in May of 06 to co-sign for a bike that he still has, to the best of my knowledge. I told him that I would go look at the bike, and when I got to Bay Cycle, I talked to the gentleman that he talked to in the store and told him that I would be willing to let him check my credit, but I really wasn't okay with co-signing for a bike. And to the best of my knowledge, Mike was able to get the bike on his own with no help, assumingly. And in August, I got a credit card bill in the mail with mine and his name on it that had the balance of $1,847.96, I believe it is. I called him and said, you know, what is this? I never agreed to this. I did not sign anything to get put on your bike. And he told me that he had no idea what I was talking about. I called the credit card company and canceled the credit card. and I found out that I had 3 days to pay off that balance, or there would be a 3-month back way of interest because he had 3 months interest free, and I was not okay with that.
Were you charged with interest?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. So how are you suing him for interest?
For the interest on my loan that I had to extend, that I went to the bank and they call it an extension, and all they do is combine the previous balance and the amount that you need together to give you a new balance.
How much was attributed to the amount you put on for him?
The interest?
In interest.
We figured it is $266.
All right. That's about right. Sir?
In May, I went down because I really wanted a bike. I didn't care how I got one. I went and looked. I filled out the application. It was like towards the end.
How you got one?
I didn't care how I got it. I needed a loan. You know, I thought I had enough credit to get one. So it was like towards the end of the day at the bike shop. I filled out all the papers. They said they'd call me and let me know what was going on. So the next day I get a phone call at work saying, you can come get your bike. You're a biker now. You can ride away. I was like, all right, went and picked up my bike. They used my credit card for my down payment on my bike. I didn't even know that she was on it. So I went down to try to get some new tailpipes put on it, something louder. And they told me, no, loud pipes save bike, save lives, you know.
Sir, well, we got to get to the loan.
All right. So I go to try to buy the pipes and the credit card was canceled. She was on it. I didn't know that she was even on it. I thought I got the bike on my own free will. So in August of 2006, I found that out. She started calling me saying, you need to pay this, you need to pay this, you need to pay this. She went to my work and told my boss that I was addicted to cocaine and tried to get me fired and everything, and trying to force me to sign that
That's your
promissory
counterclaim.
note.
That's your counterclaim.
Oh, yeah. She
you
called.
have a note here?
Yes, I have
Let
a
me see it.
promissory note.
You say she forced you?
Yeah, my
How?
boss told me that if I didn't take care of this problem, that he was going to fire me.
If
Then
you
I
didn't
would
take care of your own debt.
her coming to my work and calling the company phone and trying to get me fired. He said, I need to take care of it. So, you know, because work's work, home's home. I need to take care of it.
When
So
did he tell you that?
He told me that in August, right after she came in.
And that made you sign this.
Yeah, I just signed it so she'd leave me alone. We set the
Where,
payment
did
low.
you go to his job?
I have went there, but not for that reason. When we were together, I went there to pick up money when it was the arranged time to get the money from him. It would be a meeting point. I would call him around the 15th.
How can you convince me that she did?
I was trying to get a statement from him, but he didn't want his name on TV, so he wouldn't write me a statement.
Plaintiff Amanda Massey dated the defendant, but she claims he cheated on her with her best friend, and she is with the defendant in court today.
Do you have any evidence?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
On the harassment, I got a statement from my sister how she kept calling me over and over and over while I was sitting at her house one night. My wife right here, she can tell
Come
you.
on up, ma'am. State your name.
Lisa Bidoff.
Go ahead.
She has called our house numerous times. I'd get home from work and there'd be 10 messages on our answer machine. 8 of them would be from her wanting her money. I believe one phone call is more than enough. We have lives. We do work. You don't need to call 50 million times
You call
throughout
10
the day.
times a day?
And sometimes because I could not get a hold of him for 2 weeks at a time.
That's certainly harassment. You want to address anything else regarding who has harassed who?
My boyfriend would like to say
Come on
something.
up. State your name.
Okay, my name is Daniel Carl Stelmacher II. I've been with Amanda for just about 3 years now. During this last 3 years,
How long were you with her?
I've been with her since about August of 2006.
4 years.
Yeah, we're married now.
When did you marry?
We married last June
So you
20th.
married in 3 years. And it's you all's 3rd year. Right?
yes.
Well, what's your plan?
What's that?
What's your intent?
We're gonna get married eventually.
When?
As soon as we can
Don't
afford
get
it.
choked up now.
We're gonna get married as soon as we
Don't
can
you
afford to
wanna
have
know?
the wedding that we
It'd
want.
be nice, but
It'd be nice to know,
it'd
wouldn't
be
it?
nice, but I'm content with where we're at.
No, you're not. If you were, it wouldn't be just nice.
During this
That's
last
what you get
almost-
for getting up here, standing up. I want to talk. Yeah, well, let's talk.
During this-
Let's talk. Let's talk about these 3 years.
During this
He
last-
got married in 3 years. He married her. Why can't you marry her in 3 years?
we want to have a nice wedding, and at this time we can't afford it.
Well, I'll loan you the money.
I'll hold you
Pay
to
you interest.
Now what?
I'll pay you
I'll
interest.
hold you to it.
Trying to skip the subject. Go ahead. So what do
During
you
the
want
last
to tell
almost
me?
3 years, from my perspective, the way that I've seen this, dealing with both of them, was he wanted her to call him to arrange pickup for the money. He has absolutely refused to send a money order or a check. He has absolutely refused to deliver this. If she wanted the money, she had to drive 20 miles to go pick up this money.
Good.
I don't even know where they
that
live.
you, sir?
I don't even know where they live.
That was her
She
choice.
was
All
her.
right, that's
That
enough.
was her.
Sir, I'm granting you $500 for harassment. That's certainly harassment, ma'am. I'm calling this man 10 times a day. I don't care if it was one day that you did it. Secondly, however, I will grant you your judgment. I have a note. I don't believe that she forced you to do anything. You haven't shown evidence that she forced you. Judgment for the plaintiff, subtracting the defendant's $500, you have $400 left. Have a good day.
I'm gonna go my way. She's gonna go her way, and we don't ever have to talk again.
He can blow it out his back end, and I don't wish them anything but absolute horridness for the rest of their life.
That's mature. Wow.
Fight with Jesus. See who wins.
Have a good day, Mike.